These rocky shores where I call home, where my heart longs to be. Whenever I roam, it's these rocky shores, it's where I long to be. Yes, it's these rocky shores, they are home to me.
Whenever I leave here, it hurts me so, with tears in my eyes. Oh, I hate to go. There ain't no work, and the kids need new clothes. The bills need paying, so I must go.
These rocky shores, where I call home, where my heart longs to be. Whenever I roam, yes, these rocky shores, it's where I long to be. Yes, these rocky shores, they're home to me.
I think to myself, where did it all go? The life I once had on the ocean's gentle road. My tears in my eyes and my head in my hands, away from my family, I hope they understand.
That is these rocky shores, where I call home, it's where my heart longs to be. Whenever I roam, yes, these rocky shores, where I long to be. Yes, these rocky shores, they are home to me. Yes, these rocky shores, they are home to me.
Good evening and welcome to This Week in Review. Tonight's stories include the monument donated to the town by Hubert Strickland was erected this past week. The new museum will soon be opening. Close call for residents of Goodyear Place. Grade 6 students involved in soccer exchange. These stories plus community events, BBS Playbill, Off the Rack, and more coming up after this.
Sharing a healthier future with participation. These students are active for all the right reasons: fun, skills, and a positive attitude. What they don't know is they're also reducing their risk of serious disease. Physical activity, another way we're all sharing a healthier future. Participation.
The local executive of the FFAW here in Burgeo organized a public meeting held earlier this afternoon at the community center.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to welcome you all here, and I'd like to welcome Elaine Swift over here with us from the Chamber of Commerce. And I guess Robert is here with our local, and he can speak on the town council, I guess, as well. I guess first of all, I'd like to inform everybody that the meeting is scheduled to take place tomorrow in Corner Brook between all parties involved, and I'll name the people who's going to be at that meeting. And it's going to be Frank Pinhorn from John Ifrick's office, the provincial minister, Max Short from DFO, Bill Matthews, our MP, Bill Berry from Seafreeze, Larry Pickford from HRD, Brian Ouse from HRD, Scott LeDrew from Seafreeze, Steve May from Seafreeze, and there's Eileen Strickland, from here, and Robert and myself, and Dave Dicker is going to be there from our Rick from Cornerwood. Now, the purpose of going in there tomorrow is to deal with our TJ and our quota for our Argentine. And it sure seems like that everybody is pretty eager to get to that in there to that meeting, so I can't say what's going to take place, but I will bring it back here tomorrow night to the union members. But that is not the only problem that we do have. There's just a bit more than just tags and the TJF. The Argentine and the TJF. We do have people here that's been cut off of tags. I'm not quite sure of the number, it's in the 70s. But all over Newfoundland, it's about 3,000 people have been cut off in mag. And don't seem like there's anything been done about it. I mean, you just hear every day there's going to be news coming down, there's nothing coming down. So people do have to do something about the post-tags program. So I had a call on Friday evening, I guess it was around 6:30, and I had another one this morning at 8:30. And what they're trying to do is, I guess, is get sort of a provincial-wide rural community to all stick together and go out and do a demonstration. So I guess what I ask the people here today is, how much are we willing to fight for this community, or shall we let this community die? Because there's a lot of things going on nobody don't know about, and I don't know about them either. I've learned, and I imagine there's somebody here from the inshore fishermen can help me out if I get stuck with this thing. The quota of fish that they got this year is no better than what they had last year, because of the fish being cut out of 3 p.m., which they're not allowed to touch this year. So I don't think they're any further better than what it was last year. And as for the tags program goes, I mean, nobody knows as of right now, everybody could be gone in August. And there is fish out there, and I must understand that we do have to get our plant open first. And that's what that meeting is about tomorrow. It's to see what can come in it for Bergeron. We will not give neither one of them in there any slack. We've been giving them too much slack now, and we got to find out if this community is going to survive, and if those people are here is going to stand up for what was ours. So I guess what I'm saying is I don't know when the demonstration is going to be scheduled for, but I know there's one going to be scheduled for sometime next week. I'm wondering how does the community feel about it? Will everybody stand together? Because it's not only going to be this community, it will be right from Port Bath to right down to as far as St. Andrews. That's where it's been, they're starting to organize to do up demonstrations. I'm not sure when this is going to happen. The only thing I know is that we will be in Cornerwood tomorrow for this meeting. It's scheduled for 10 o'clock. And if things do, or anything shall come up while we're in there, I would suggest for you people to watch Channel 10 around 2 o'clock, and we'll notify everybody on what's going on then. Maybe you people might know more than I know by then, because we're going to be in meetings, there's nothing we can do about it. So I'm wondering what kind of representation will we get from this town in order to go out and try to get the tags back for those people that's cut off, to help try to get some jobs back here in this community, and so everybody can have and try to lead a normal life, something that a lot of people have not been doing for the last 5 or 6 years.
All of the 181 people present at the meeting agreed that they would take part in the demonstration. The demonstration is scheduled for some time this coming week. You'll be notified on this channel. The monument to fishermen and seamen of Burgeo, donated to the town of Burgeo by Hubert Strickland, was erected on Wednesday. Motorists and pedestrians on Main Street were quite curious as to what was happening on Wednesday, as the monument donated by Hubert Strickland of Messrs was erected at the former site of Burgeo's first library.
What do you got on the end there, Brutus? Just give a judgment. I got 7 inches. Bird 7? Okay, let's try that. Let her down there. Go to just one corner, because it's rock edges.
Mr. Strickland was amongst the group of onlookers. His picture from his 20s is displayed on the monument to seamen and fishermen of Burgeo. The area, which was sodded and lined with trees last year by the town council, was transformed into an attraction that will surely attract many tourists visiting our community this summer. Once the monument was erected, it was cleaned and patio stones were placed around it, as well as from the street, so people can get a closer look if they wish. Mr. Strickland has given the people of Burgeo something they can be proud of, and for that, he should be very proud. The town is planning an official unveiling once all the landscaping work has been completed. Some residents of Goodyear Place were evacuated from their homes for a short period of time this past week. Residents of Goodyear Place had to evacuate their homes unexpectedly around lunchtime on Tuesday, when a propane tank on the premises of Gord Ingram was found to be leaking quite heavily. The tank, which was filled earlier that morning, was leaking propane, which caused some tense moments for residents of the area. The Burgeo Volunteer Fire Department was quick to arrive on the scene and sealed off the road while wrapping the leak with a cloth. The Superior propane truck, which had filled the tank earlier that morning, returned, and the truck's hose was reconnected to the tank, sealing the leak until workers from Pasadena could get to Burgeo to repair the tank. A few tense moments, but no damage. Sandbanks Provincial Park officially opened for this camping season on Friday. Motorists are reminded that a vehicle park permit is required in order to drive to Sandbanks Park. A seasonal permit can be obtained at the park office for $16. Because the new Comfort Station dumping station is now in operation, camping fees per night have increased from $9 last year to $11. Mr. Alan Marsden would like to thank all those who saved pop cans and other recyclable goods for him over the past year. Through his recycling efforts, Mr. Marsden donated $460 to this year's Janeway Telethon. Stay with us for more of This Week in Review coming up in just a moment.
Sharing a healthier future with Participaction. Participaction wants you to know childhood obesity has increased 50% since 1980. only 15% of teens exercise enough to be physically fit. Future health of 1 in 5 kids is at risk.
In this very sophisticated society, the levels of physical fitness of our children are in fact declining.
Participaction also wants you to know there are solutions. In Ontario, the Activate program developed by the Foundation for Active Healthy Kids is helping students learn new skills, sharing a healthier future.
It just makes me feel good.
I think you get more focus.
It helps me in school.
Programs like Activate can make a real difference now and in the future.
We have to take charge as parents to get kids back to being active.
Physical activity is a powerful determinant of ultimate health.
Sharing a healthier future, Participaction.
The new community library is now ready to be opened in the former Burgeo Public Library. I spoke with Stan Kosser, Museum Committee Chairperson, about their plans for the building.
I'd like to present this axe to be displayed at the museum on behalf of the Canadian Rangers.
Stan, I'd like to present this pennant to the Burgeo Museum. There's a pennant belonged to the old SS Burgeo. I've had it for 20 years, I guess, given to me by a friend of mine in St. John's. So I thought now that this time would be a good place to have it displayed here at the library, here at the museum. We had hoped that we got a picture. It was the only picture Marina Landy had, and probably there's somebody out there might have a larger picture of her. This one's fairly small of her lying to the dock and Port of Best. So probably if somebody did have a much larger picture of her that could be displayed here as well, along with her pennant. And hopefully I believe there's going to be a brief history of her doll to be put there, because she did, well, she was called after Burgeo, and she provided postal service for many, many years.
Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do, and I'd like to thank you for that, presenting that, and I'd also like to thank Bud on behalf of the presented the ceremonial hacks on behalf of the Canadian Rangers. And if there's anybody out there who got anything that they feel they would like to have displayed at the museum, just contact us and we'll see if it's appropriate to do so. But thank you very much.
My pleasure, Stan.
Stan, most of the artifacts from the old museum are now displayed here at the new museum. Are all of the artifacts brought down?
Everything that was at the old one is brought down, yes, and they're pretty well, everything is pretty well completed now. That's displayed.
Okay, so when do you expect to have the museum open to the public?
Hopefully within a week, I would say, that we could have the official opening, and if we can get people to staff it, like even if we get volunteers to do it on like a few hours a day, like before we get our students on. We do have students for the summer. Right now we got a minimum of 4 anyhow.
Okay, so you're having a TV bingo next week to raise money. What will that money be used for?
Well, Dave, we thought as a committee, if we could have raised some of the money rather than having to go to the town and look for donations, and the town is paying for the hydro bell there, the same as they did for when it was a library. We had money that we did it up on a government grant, I guess we had, that was given to the town. So we felt if there's a few things that need to be done, the lawn and that out in front needs to be done up, and we'll bring the picnic tables down that was into the other place. We've got a flower box out there that's made, and so there's a bit of an expense to buy a few flowers and put in it. And we need put some heave throw up. The flagpole got to be brought out and erected. The old hanker that's in there, the hanker from the old swivel, that's going to be brought out and displayed out there in front of the cannon that's there. We need gravel for the driveway to do it up. We have a bit of painting to do outside and to do inside. We got a bit of expenses like for our displays and that we had to buy tape and things like that, the paint to do the walls and that. So we felt that we had a TV bingo and could raise enough money to pay it, because there is little things you need all the time, especially in a building like this. So I'd like to ask people to support our bingo and it won't be a regular thing. It's just probably say a one-shot deal, or every so often, probably once a year, something like that.
Okay, so if anyone has any artifacts that they'd like to have displayed down here, how would they go about doing it?
Well, they can contact me or anybody on the committee, really. There's Jim Pink, Victor Pollard, and Joe Barter, Bill Parsons, Ann Parsons, anyone like that. Not everything, you know, is suitable, but if they got something that got some kind of a historical significance to it, and they feel that it, you know, just contact one of us and we'll bring it, see what we got here. And I mean, we ask people to drop in and see. It's a beautiful place, and the displays is you know, it's a real good job done with the displays.
Okay, so when we did our last interview, just when things were getting started here, you mentioned that the committee was looking for a few new members. Did you get those members?
No, we didn't get anybody. The only new one really is Jim Pink.
Okay, so you're still, if anyone's out there that would be interested in sitting on the committee, you're still looking for members, I guess.
Oh yes, by all means. If there's anybody out there who would like to be on the committee, but you know, we welcome them.
Okay, well, things certainly look, the artifacts certainly look a lot different in this building than they did in the other one. And we look forward to the official opening.
Thank you, Dave. And right now, I'd really like to, there's two people that I really got to, I give special thanks to. Frances Young. Frances was here on the original project. Once the project ended at the end of March, she had been here coming free time ever since, and she had done all the displays, all the cataloging, done all the labeling, and this had been, she wanted to see it done to the end. And also like Jim Pink, Jim had been out here and done a lot of work, as well as Hector and Juro. They came out and they changed the two doors and took the porch off. Jim had been here ever since that. Sometimes you probably might see Jim here, because I think he's here probably at past 5 and 6 o'clock in the morning. But I'd like to really thank those people for coming out and doing it.
Okay, well, thanks for speaking to us, and again, we look forward to that official opening.
Thank you, Dave.
The softball season will soon be upon us, but it'll be slightly harder to hit a home run at the community ball field this year. Although there were no need for any major renovations at the community ball field, some members of the men's softball league were replacing a section of the fence that, because of its age, was getting in rough shape. While replacing the fence, they decided to extend the fence slightly to round off the back end of the field a little more, making it about 8 feet further to hit a home run. The men's softball league hopes to get their season underway within the next week or so. The grade 6 students at A.J. Matthews School hosted the grade 6 students from the North Shore in a soccer tournament. Grade 6 students from the North Shore of the Bay of Islands, along with their phys ed teacher, Brian Gilbert, visited Burgeo last weekend to compete against our grade 6 students in a fun afternoon of soccer. The students also had other activities planned for the evening, as the students were billeted with our students for Saturday night. Our grade 6 students will be traveling to the North Shore this coming weekend. We wish them well in their soccer matches and hope they have an enjoyable trip. Stay with us for Off the Rack, community events, and VBS Playbill. All that after this.
Some people think that cystic fibrosis just makes it hard for kids to breathe. We could live with that. The truth is, CF is slowly shutting down my daughter's lungs and choking off her life. Imagine watching your child live like that and die like that. But today, your help is leading to great discoveries. and finally giving me real hope. Please don't let CF take Cassandra away from me. You can help keep us together for life.
Off the rack. This week as we scanned our tape racks, we came across a video of Sandbanks Park as the campsites were just nearing completion and the park cabin was not yet a reality. Here's a look back now to June 3rd, 1990.
Good evening, and welcome to the community event segment of tonight's broadcast on Run the Green. The I.J. Matthews School Bingo held on Wednesday was won by Hubert Spencer. Congratulations, Hubert. The Burgess Museum Committee will be holding a TV bingo on Wednesday, June 3rd. Cards are $1 each or 6 for $5 and are available from any museum committee member or in most stores around town. The annual general meeting after subscribers of Virgil Broadcasting System will be held at the Community Center following the Lions Bingo on Tuesday. If your group or organization has an upcoming event planned, we would be happy to advertise it for you. You can contact the BBS office by Wednesday of each week to have items included in this portion of our broadcast. That concludes the community event segment of tonight's program. See you next week.
BBS Playbill. Tune in on Tuesday at 7 p.m. for Pansy's Garden. Try your luck on Wednesday at 7 p.m. by playing Museum Committee TV Bingo. Following Bingo, we'll have Seen But Not Heard. This video comes to us from the Help Committee. At 7 p.m. on Thursday, we'll have Telethon Entertainment Part 4. Join Pansy and the gang for craft stories and lots of fun Saturday morning, 11 a.m. on Pansy's Garden. And I'll be here again next week with This Week in Review. Next week's program will be followed by Telethon Entertainment Part 5. Please stay tuned now for Telethon Entertainment Part 4. For This Week in Review, I'm Dave Cooper. Good night.